Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Timberborn, shall we? So we have a few objectives that we'd like to get going here, and let's think about what we want to do. We have our forester working on planting some more trees for us, which is going to be helpful because we've cut down many of the trees that are near us. We have 6 planks, which is nice because what this will allow us to do is get these trees up on this shelf. So we can go to paths and structures, and let's go ahead and unlock these wooden stairs. And we pay 70 science points to do that, and now we can build steps that go up to this platform, and we can build a path that will go here. And the way steps work, as we did before, you put the path to the bottom of the steps, and then you continue building the path on the top of the steps, and it will connect. You see the green line going. And then we're just going to move over here and just kind of put the path here so that we can drop in another lumberjack flag. And let's zoom out and make sure this is getting everything we need. It is. Excellent. Okay, so this is one place for us to get trees. And why do we want trees? Well, we need trees specifically because we want to build a dam. So even without unlocking the levee or a floodgate or any of a sluice gate, any of these structures, we can build a regular dam. And this dam will block water, but allow some to pass through a spillway on the top. So what this means is, if we put a dam, let's say right here, if we put a dam running right across the river that goes by our settlement, then this water that flows, as I'm looking at it, from north to south, will still continue to flow down because the dam will allow excess water to go over it. But it blocks so much water that it's kind of storing water here and raising the level so that when the drought happens, we will have some water here. We won't have water that's moving, and that means that, for example, we won't get power from the water wheel, but it means that we will have water to continue irrigating our crops, which is vital. And we have water that we can pump. But if we pump too much of the water, then it will go away, and we won't have any water at all until it rains again or the drought ends. So these are just things that we need to manage. But first and foremost, we do have to get that dam built. And you can see that the dam takes 20 logs. And, like, for example, if I wanted to build it like this, okay, that's fine, but that's going to take, 100 logs. So that's a lot. And I have 32. It says it can't be built because it's too far. But this is simply because we don't have a path that goes over here. So something else we can do is put a path that goes along the bank of the river and gets us some extension down here so that we could put the dam, let's just say, right over here. And to do that, we can clear out some of these sunflowers up here. And here we go. And there. And I'm going to up the priority on all of this so that they get those out of there. I want these out of here so I can build some more lumber mills to get planks. You'll notice that the steps themselves take planks. It's going to take a lot. Now, there's also some trees over here and a lot of green irrigated soil that we can use to expand our farming and tree growing operation and our water collecting. I think I'd like more water collecting for us. It's kind of been a struggle, so let's do that. I also would like to build one more small tank over here just for now. Excellent. And we can build more of these. And I'll wait until they remove this. So we're going to build a dam. We're building steps so we can get some trees here. And we're also going to go get trees and access to this side of the river. Now, one way we can get access over here is by going to paths and structures and unlocking platforms. Now, this takes more science than we have, and so we might want to build another inventor as well. But you'll notice that in order to do anything, we're going to need more labor force because we're kind of running out of beavers to do work, which is going to require some more housing for us. And this would be another reason I want platforms, because we can discuss another principle of Timberborn, which is vertical building. So any building that's marked as solid, you are allowed to build on top of. So if I were to select a lodge, you'll note that I can just put it on top of the existing lodges. They're flat on the top. And that's a really neat feature of, I'm going to speed it up. This game is the vertical building. Okay, this has been cleared, so I'm just going to pause it, and I'm going to build a path that goes along the river here. But I'm also going to build one that will, let's put it, yeah, this is fine. Let's put it here. I'm going to build a path that goes here, and then we can build a path that goes down here, and a path that goes here, and gets us closer to here. Now, this path is not connected, and actually, I'm going to need to demolish this and this, because the way that we will do this is simply build steps. So we can build steps here, and we can build steps by rotating over here. Now, when I first did this, it never occurred to me to do something like this, because in most games you can't send your population underwater. But these are beavers. They can go underwater, and in fact, they actually like going underwater. And going underwater is something that will give them well-being bonuses, because if you look in well-being, one of the things we can make is a shower, which gives them the basic need of wet fur. So this, allows them to go down and get wet fur. Now, another way to cross the water would be to unlock the platform and build this platform across the gap and then put a path on top of it. That's totally fine too. Building lacks workers here. Okay, great. So let's see if we have any buildings. Yes, so these two lumberjacks aren't doing anything because there's no trees to cut down. So sometimes what you'll have to do, we're going to just pause these structures, is turn these on and off for when the trees are growing. And you'll see automatically that somebody has taken this job, but they're saying no trees in range because we need to select this and make it a tree cutting area. Excellent. Now I have one free beaver, but that's okay. All right. I'm going to drop in another pump here. I'm going to turn this into water. Now, if you look at our situation for food, we're actually okay. And there's not many berries left for this gatherer to get. So we can also pause the gatherer. A tree has grown that we could cut down. We have very few logs. And they finished these steps. Great. So then we can go here to wood, and we can put a lumberjack flag over here. Now, notice that when I'm building this, you see how the line from our district center, it's green normally, but you see how it's starting to get kind of yellowish? The further you get away from your district, that line will move from green to yellowish to orange to red, meaning it's really, really far away from your district and people have to effectively commute for a long time. And that's actually okay. Later, we can, do more district stuff, but for now, we're going to keep it as is, and they'll just have to commute a bit. Now, we could build a log pile over here to save on, the commute time, which is not a bad idea. So, we can build a, well, this is only capacity 20. It's not very much. I'm going to build one here, and I'm going to build one here. And then what we're going to do is mark some trees for cutting. All of these. Excellent. And nobody's unemployed now because this has been hooked up. And, oh, we don't have a worker there. So, remember how I said there's not very much here? I need water more than these berries. I'm just going to pause this, and they immediately will go here and get us some water. Excellent. And then let me put... nope, not a pump, sorry. Another tank. Here. And we'll just go ahead and preemptively select water. We're not going to be caught off guard by the drought this time. Excellent. Let's select logs and select logs for our storage areas. There. And this will help their commute time a bit. The lumberjacks, anyway. Now, they could store 20 here, but if they got more, then we'd have it saved up. Okay. So now we actually have some planks. I'm going to start dropping in... We have enough science. Perfect. I'm going to unlock platforms. So I'm going to select platforms and unlock them for the rest of our science. And now we can go to housing, and I'm going to build a lodge, and I'm going to put it, rotate it so the doorway is facing the middle like this. And this is, we're going to start with just one house up a Z level here. And this is good, but you might say, well, how do they get to that? So to get up here, what we need to do is go to paths and structures, and we're going to build that new platform. You can see it takes 6 planks, which means we're definitely going to want some more lumber mills, because it is, well, let's just say, going to be a big stress on our plank production line. And we can put some, I'll just put a few right now, platforms like so. The platforms are great because, I'll try to zoom in and show you, the beavers can actually walk under them, and it doesn't inhibit the path underneath. The only thing is, you need to have stairs that go up to it, and as I think I forgot to mention this, but the reason I had to destroy the paths here on the path that went through the water is because stairs cannot be built on a path. So you have to delete a path if you want to put stairs there, and then put the stairs, and then put the paths on each side of it. So, I can put a path, or a staircase like this, and then have a path go here. And then what we need to do is put it here, and then you need to draw a path up here on the platform as well. And you can see how there is a little node going into that door. So now The beavers can build this from underneath, build this, and then climb up and build that. And let's see. They're hungry. Well, we've got plenty of food, so hopefully they can scrounge up something to eat. I don't know why they're necessarily hungry. There they go. We have 83 cooked potatoes. That's great. And this is getting laid in. Let's see. All right. Now, one thing, though, is, and this just kind of happens, we might need to change the way that we have our pathing if we want to have the lumber mills adjoining, because the power can't go across the path. You can't build a power shaft there. So we have to say, well, okay, this looks pretty good at first, but what we're going to need to do is fix this power situation. Or another thing that we can do is put the power on the other side now that we are here. So this is just kind of like, it's more ideal to build them together, but just as proof of concept showing what we can do in the tutorial, we could put a lumber mill over here, for example, and then connect a shaft to it like so. So we could just say, all right, well, put this here, and then let's take the power shaft and build it from this wheel here. Now, it's going to take platforms to do that, but another thing we can do, oops, wrong thing, here we go, is go ahead and build a water wheel here. All right. And then even another one here. And instead of building a shaft or a platform, just build a bunch of wheels, and these will all generate power, and it will send the power to the left and the right so that we can expand when we need to. Now, of course, this is a lot of wood that we're using for this, but it'll help us scale up. And we have to remember that while this is good, this will not work during the drought, and we're going to need something like a windmill eventually, or a self-powered wheel where a beaver runs in and turns things if we get desperate. Alright, so unconnected building, this one, and this is only unconnected because the stairs aren't done. The grill lacks materials because we're out of potatoes for now, so I will pause it for a bit until our potato storage goes up. And everybody is working on building these items. This, we don't need a worker yet, obviously. You can see our well-being is up to 9. And we've got some more trees here. The birches are growing in nicely. So another thing we can do, just temporarily, because I have this extra worker, is I can just drop in another lumberjack flag over here to kind of get this job done quicker. Now you'll note too, our storage of carrots and berries is like beyond maximum for carrots. So we're going to need to build some more warehouses, and we can stack those as well. However, we need planks to get that going. I'm going to up the priority on this. So that somebody comes to build this immediately, and then we have another beaver take that job and start cutting down trees for us, because we've got trees, we need more lumber right away. Look at this. You see how much we're actually getting water stored. Now we're talking. I need to build more tanks. It's kind of, you know, a rule of thumb, and I had mentioned it before, but you really just can't have enough food and water stored up, or lumber for that matter. So we want to get even more tanks. However, we've got these big projects going to get these wheels happening. And there are other things that we're going to want to hook up here, like a gear workshop eventually to chain out. This, we have the second wheel done. Excellent. I'm going to increase the priority on these steps here, and on planks I think are already, well, here, go ahead. Let's do that. We have one plank. We have 86 wood, though, so there we go. And we finished this house. Okay, so they finished this house up here and this platform, and now there's already 2 in here. We have 3 free beds. We have 2 children. Our population is going to start growing again, and we need to build some more houses. So I'm going to build a house here and a house here. There we go. I would also like to, while we're on that, build another inventor for some labor down the road. And you see, we can put the inventor up high. Doesn't matter. Now, you can't build on top of the inventor, though, because they've got that cool spinning apparatus. All right. Now, look at all this wood up here. They're doing a great job collecting wood. So we actually have plenty of wood to build this and finish. Potatoes are coming in. We had a beaver die of old age. All right. Now, again, we have a lot of water, so I can actually pause water production. This is done, and now it's getting power, but it's not connected to a path. So we need to build a path that goes around here, and I'm going to actually... I should have faced this the other direction. It's okay. Let's plan this, though, where we want the path sort of like this. There. Just at least for the moment. Because... There we go. We want to build more structures that connect. Now, this just doesn't have a worker. And like I said, we do have a good amount of water. So one thing we can do is say, okay, well, actually, I'm going to pause one lumberjack up here. We're almost done with these trees, and then somebody can come work here and start cranking out planks. We have potatoes stored up, so eventually we can unpause our kitchen. Let's see. Oh, they became a researcher is where they went. They went on science. That's why they're not there. Okay, that's fine. Looking good. I'm going to pause a water pump because we're full on water storage. And then this beaver will go here and start churning out planks. There they go. Now this is a very inefficient path. So one thing I guess that we could do is plan for... Okay, I'll do it like this. I'm going to build one more lumber mill, like so. And then we can put a path that goes like this. I didn't want to do this necessarily because it's hard. It's annoying to move the shaft across the path. But if we plan it this way, then we can move the path later, and then eventually we can build power that goes over the path. There we go. And let's see, we have plenty of wood, so another project I want to do is get us way more storage. So let's put some more tanks in here, here. And I suppose here. And these all want to be water tanks. There we go. All right, excellent. So, what we have is a good amount of planks coming in. And now that we have a nice amount also of wood, let's go ahead and start working on that dam. So I'd like to put it, you see where our crops are. I think that this is a reasonable space. Well, yeah, I know, let's get a little bit greedier with it. Let's put it here. And we will take a path, and we can actually run a path over here to get them closer. By the way, they can walk over the dam, so we can do that. And we can connect it. Building lacks workers, which is our new sawmill. That's fine. Or lumber mill. I'll just pause it. We have 7 free beds, but now you see our population went up from 17 to 20. We're having, yep, here we go. We've got more children coming in, and this will allow us to use these. We have 26 planks, which is awesome, but what that means is we need storage. So we need storage for planks, and also for more food. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead and get this going. Now, I want to put a platform that winds itself. There we go. Like so. And then we could put another staircase kind of as another point of access here. And a path. Now, this is a very ambitious platform. This is very plank intensive, but it lets us really, really build up vertically. Do I want to... Where do I want to go with this? Yeah, this is fine. Excellent. I'm going to max priority on the dam. And here they come. All right. Now look at all these trees up here. It's a beautiful thing. I need to pause this lumberjack. There's really nothing left here. And then turn one of these babies back on to get the lumber flowing. So this is something you're going to be doing early game. You're just going to be kind of like looking at where your needs are and your storage capacity and adjusting. And speaking of that, we have 44 regular potatoes, so we can turn that back on to cook. All right, now I've got plenty of science, so we can go ahead and unlock a windmill. It costs 120 here. Excellent. Now these cost 20 logs and 20 planks to build, but they will provide power. Without the need for the water to flow. I'll put a shaft right there to do that. However, they're kind of temperamental and they don't provide power all the time. So they're good, but they're not as reliable as the water wheel. But then again, no water flow, water wheel doesn't work. So you gotta kind of make the best of it. For now. Later you can get batteries, but we're not there. And look at this. Our dam is getting in. No goods selected. Okay, perfect. So when we've got these extra warehouses, and look at this. We need carrots and we need berries. So I'm going to go ahead and select this for carrots so that we could store more carrots. You see the bar has now gone to half here. And this one I'm going to preemptively set as berries for storage. And they're saying they can't access it, which they can't because, you know, that's not finished yet, but that's okay. Excellent. We're probably going to want to put a forester down here to plant more trees, or if we don't want that, we use this as farmland and start just planting more crops. And I think crops actually make sense. So we can go into plant crops and, well, wheat requires a lot to get up. You have to have many structures for wheat. If you look at food, you would need a grist mill and a bakery for that to happen. So I'm keeping things simple by just going with sunflowers and potatoes. Let's get some more potatoes. And then let's get some more sunflowers. Excellent. And then we can make life a little easier. There. Almost there. Just a few logs away. One more. Here it comes. And we did it. And now you can see we have a dam. You see the water can flow through it over the top there, but we have a dam. And you see how the water level on the right side of our dam is higher than over here. And this means that because we've increased the water level here, when the drought happens, the water will go down, but we will still have some kind of saved up. Now, this is not the best solution possible. There's way more complicated stuff we can do with water, but this is a beautiful first start for us. We have scaled up with power. We've built a bunch of power water wheels to kind of make it so that we can build a lot more technology later. We're starting to build windmills. We built a path across the water. We have a dam. We also began building vertically. And I think this is a nice place to end this series for now. I've given you kind of the basics of how to start out, how to survive, and when the next drought comes around, we will have enough water and we have a dam, so we'll be able to continue our food supply. If you want to see more of this game, more content going further, let me know in the comments below, and I can continue this series, but I think that this has shown plenty of just the very preliminary stuff on hashing out the beginnings of our colony. And I want to say, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will check you next time. Take care.